Okay, good morning, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are. Thanks for joining us today. We're looking forward to this conversation. We're having a little bit of a technical issue. Dr. Hiesboeck is not with us as of yet. We don't know if there is. Hold on a second. Hold on a second, folks. I'm getting some feedback here. I just want to make sure we're doing this clear. Okay, there we go. That should do it. All right. Like I said, we may be having a technical or a time zone issue. So, what we're going to do is do a quick community update for you while we're waiting. You can feel free to ask us questions through YouTube. Please type them into the text field, and we'll be watching for them, and we'll be glad to answer your specific questions as we go forward. So let's hope Dr. Hiesboeck gets here. We're very excited to talk to him about why people are bullish on BioFi. For those of you who may not know him, Dr. Hiesboeck is the head of research at Uphold, and he's the author of a regular newsletter that goes out called The Waffle, which touches on all types of DeFi and Web3 topics. I encourage you to sign up for it if you currently aren't getting that. It's great information and written in a really digestible fashion. And if you don't know Uphold, they basically are a digital wallet. I'm checking my notes here. Digital wallet and teaching platform that really makes cryptocurrencies and other assets affordable and accessible to everyone. That's their objective. So we'll have him talk more about that when he joins us here shortly. So what I'd like to do is ask Brian if he wants to give a quick update. If there's anything he wants to talk to, then we'll talk through the planned topics for this afternoon. And if we need to regroup and reschedule with Dr. Hiesboeck, we'll make sure that happens. So Brian, is there anything you want to share as an opening discussion before we get into the topics at hand?
Well, yeah, thanks a lot. I really appreciate that. And, in our tradition, I would like to thank the community, and we have many communities here spanning across a lot of great projects. Some of our great friends over at Kryptonaires with Robert Doyle and James Pelton, has got an incredible YouTube channel, and watching the communities at Constellation and different projects that we work with. Astrobit and is a new one that we've brought on, as you guys know. EVO, and we have a dozen of them already that have been signed up to launch on the Phoenix X in the continent of Africa. We're focused on South Africa at the moment. So I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you. As I think about the different channels for communication, we have the Discord, the Telegram, the Twitter, as it were, X. We're doing things with TikTok and Instagram, especially in Africa. These are great channels for that continent, Pan-Africa. And Facebook is a big one there. So we're very excited. We have just this incredible community in the Telegram channel in particular, as Dagonaut has been doing his summer travel and things going on. We've had some incredible support from the community. Crazy Susie, Nick, Dagon's Lair, Kismet. We have so many that come into the channel and support the community and take questions and answer questions, provide timely information, and are just incredible in your support. We really appreciate that. It's quite an amazing time for us. And, there's a lot of incredible things happening in the ecosystem. So hopefully Dr. Hiesboeck can join us today. If not, we'll get this rescheduled with him. We've got several topics that we would love to chat with you about today and provide some updates. But I do want to say, and just with a great appreciation, thank you so much We really appreciate all the support. With that, I'll turn it back to Chris, and then we'll jump in.
Thanks, Brian. I'm keeping my eyes open for Dr. Hiesboeck, and I see there's getting a bunch of questions in. That's great.
Oh, good.
So we'll start with BioFi utility. That's one of the things that we've been focused on since the project launched. And we want to make sure that as a utility token, BioFi itself has continued things to use it for. We continue to build options for people to use it. You'll soon be able to use it to buy the Phoenix X, which is a great add-on to the ecosystem. All of the partnerships that we're bringing in, we're looking at making sure we can make their services available as well through the BioFi token. So it really is adding the utility that we promised at the beginning, and that's in our white paper, as to make BioFi the currency of the ecosystem and make sure that you can use it in a lot of different places. So, Brian, what are your thoughts on, tell the folks your thoughts on the utility and where we think we as a project are going beyond today for delivering more utilitarian functions for our audience.
Yeah, it's a really incredible question. When you think about the BioFi token and the ecosystem, it's all been designed as a way to pull together the most amazing technology and services and features from multiple projects and around the globe, different countries, different technologies, representing, different languages and cultures. It's just amazing, the global nature of this. The utility exists in what we like to a lot of times call, the seed products. So imagine just, having a seed there that you plant in the ground, and before you know it, you have an orchard, a giant orchard. So BioFi is like this, taking the products that are there initially. There's a wallet, the cryptic wallet. We have the data manager we call UniSafeBox, which, by the way, I will mention here on this call. This, I guess you could call this alpha. We are going to rebrand that here shortly. That is likely to happen later this week, early next week at the latest. We're very excited about that rebrand. I would say on that particular seed product, you're going to see a huge transformation in the way that it works and how it works. And we'll get into that in another call and another AMA, but it's super exciting. When we talk about utility, like with the wallet, you can purchase the advertising with BioFi. With the UniSafeBox, soon to be rebranded, you can buy that with BioFi. It takes a BioFi to join the ecosystem, to be part of the biometric financial ecosystem. I guess you could also have an NFT, one of the Doges or one of our partner NFTs. And with BioFi, you'll be able to buy a Phoenix X. So imagine this, the Phoenix X, and I just happen to have one here with me. So for those of you that have seen this device, this is incredible technology. I have to say that from a utility perspective, all of the software, all of the technology that has been built up over the last 7 years has found its way onto the Phoenix X. So think about this as an edge device. This is going to sit on lots of networks globally, right? With the focus on Pan-Africa, Southeast Asia, and South America. And all that utility, that incredible utility from what is provided in the ecosystem to kind of start it off or, create a solid foundation. All of that utility is added to by the wonderful partners that have joined the ecosystem. We mentioned Astrobit, but we have, from the beginning, we've had like Drone Industry Systems Corporation. We've worked with Constellation, of course, over time. As you guys know, we're working on the Metagraph there. Cyberly. We have such incredible projects that we've been working with from the beginning. And then over time, we've added many more. And so it'll be great fun to go through that list. We'll spend a whole AMA talking about what exactly is on the Phoenix X. It's incredible technology. And all of that is utility. because being able to provide that much functionality that really impacts a person's life, their family, their community, and ultimately lifts up a country happens through this device. All of that utility and all of the provider, the partner utility on top of that is an incredible array of technology. So when we talk about utility, Chris, it covers a wide spectrum and it will have impact. Mark our words here. Look back on this 5 years, 10 years from now. Look back on this, how the Phoenix X will shape and impact and help people's lives all around the world. This is an incredible time in the BioFi ecosystem. And what we're seeing in the market today in South Africa and Lesotho, Nigeria, Kenya, and all around Pan-Africa is an amazing appetite for this utility. It's beyond even our wildest dreams. So we're super excited about this, super bullish about the Phoenix X and all the utility that it has on it. What an incredible delivery platform for the average person in the world. So yes, Chris, it's incredible how much utility is included in this device.
Thanks, Brian. I think it's important for people to realize that the Phoenix X really is a platform. That's the way to think about it. If you think of it as just a mobile device, it doesn't fit what it's capable of doing and the value that it's going to bring to the end users when they finally get it in their hands. So keep in mind, we talk about RISE, right? We talk about the acronym RISE, the things that are embedded into the value proposition of the Phoenix X are rewards. And people will be getting rewards just for owning the device, integrated content, and it's the partnerships. That's the partnerships piece that we bring in. Those partnerships will be bringing value in many different ways, whether it's discounts, benefits, other direct rewards that they can use on a monthly basis. The S is security, which we've talked about. That's our background. That's our bread and butter. And that's where we have integrated the biometric authentication into the Android 13 platform. So that's what makes it different. It's not an add-on. And I'm going to get to a couple of the questions that are related to that in just a moment. So with the security built into the operating platform, it really makes the Phoenix X the most secure device in the market. It's not an add-on. It's not just an extra feature. And it looks, we call it bank grade security. But what it does is it looks at a lot more data and a lot more data points than other solutions that are prevalent in the market today. So that in itself makes it more secure. And the last piece of it is education. We've talked quite a bit about education in the last few AMAs. We've had great response across Africa in the places we've gone, particularly after doing the workshops in Johannesburg and Lesotho. We've gotten great feedback on the ability to use it as an educational device. So let me, since they're related, let me get into a couple of the questions that have come in so far. Well, let me start with this one first. Is this the first chat with Martin? Yeah, it should be. If we can get him here today, it'll be our first chat. If not, we'll have to do that one another day. So Sammy, thank you for that particular question, Sammy. The next one is, let me see what we got here. Is it possible to offer the biometric tech as a downloadable to put on other devices that aren't the Phoenix X device and pay a subscription fee? That's a really great question, and I appreciate that coming in from Quinsortium. It might be a little bit difficult. We'd have to talk about that and see what the final impact would be of the technology. It needs to be embedded in a source like an application. I don't see how it could be necessarily downloaded into other devices.
Well, I think, Chris, on this, so to the answer to this question is yes. The biometric technology is device agnostic when it comes to Android. So it's if we think about all the Android devices in the world, you can have the biometrics embedded in any app that comes from the Play Store. So we have that today. We have apps out on the Play Store that have the biometrics integrated into them. So what happens is when those apps are downloaded onto a Android device, and the user of the app, interfaces with the use case for the biometric. All of that information is stored securely on that individual device. It never goes to the cloud. This is vitally important. So the question has multiple, we call them octopus tentacles. It's got multiple areas of focus outside of the basic question. Those biometrics are 100% secure, and they're designed to support a multitude of use cases. In fact, if you look at the website, you'll see some important use cases, ones that we highlight from the financial industry, from performing authentication for logging in or accessing a building or what have you. There are lots of different things it can be used for, but putting it on any device is no problem. You can download any app as long as it's been integrated properly, and that's something that we help companies do today.
Yeah, that's perfect, Brian. Thank you. That was a good explanation. That's exactly where I was going with. The integration is done by app and not by device. So there is a difference to keep in mind as we go there. So thanks for that question. Okay. All right, Brian, I'll let you answer this one. Coming in from Heinz. When will the first batch of Phoenix X be produced and delivered to the pre-sale buyer? This is probably the top question that we get recently. So what information can we share there?
Yeah, this is a great question, Heinz. We are so excited about the orders for the Phoenix X. I got to tell you, the market is incredible in Africa and Southeast Asia and South America. It is incredible. We are inking deals left and right. There is so much activity happening across the continent and with numerous individuals, both from a sales perspective and company, B2B, company to company. And we are in the process of the first order right now. What we are expecting is that phones will land on the shores of South Africa in the month of September, probably towards the middle to the latter part of September. And then each order that piles up on top of that will create a pipeline of ordering. And we couldn't be more happier. This is an exciting time for the ecosystem. It's an exciting time for the technology. And we are in multiple countries. I would say that, our launch focus is South Africa and Lesotho, as Dr. Catherine calls the enclave within South Africa, a country within a country. What an amazing place. And South Africa's, much like Hong Kong, is a launch pad into China, Greater China. South Africa is a launch pad into Pan-Africa. It's a wonderful experience there. It's something that, we've got some blogs on this. I would encourage you to read the monthly newsletter and take a look at those blogs. You will get a lot of great information. We talked about this very topic, but there's a lot of phones in the pipeline. We will continue to add to those rapidly and go from South Africa, Lesotho, to Nigeria, to Kenya. We also have activity happening rapidly in the Democratic Republic of Congo, the Congo. And also just recently, there's a lot of activity in another country very close to South Africa, which we hope to have a press release on soon. So I would highlight one thing. We're very careful in announcing, some of our activities because we have contracts, very important contracts with key companies. And these contracts are specific in how we market together and the timelines and so forth. And by the nature of the domestic laws within South Africa, these are consumer-driven laws. They're there for good reason. So much like the United States or the UK, they have a lot of consumer-based laws, and you guys have seen them. You've seen them in information technology, the digital revolution, and how cookies are managed or personal data. You guys have seen all this. And so this is true of items that are bought and sold within the country. So we have to follow the regulation in terms of what we can say and when we can say it. So just know at the appropriate time, we'll release all the numbers of how many phones have sold and where they've gone. And we will have a website that will be like It'll be like ATM Hunter. If you guys have ever had to search for an ATM, you'll know that there's an application called ATM Hunter. And you can go into that app, you can put in, you can just use your GPS location. And on a map, it'll draw the nearest location where you can find an ATM, where you can get some cash or deposit a check. And it'll be the same thing. You'll be able to go in, use this app. It'll be decentralized. You'll be able to pull it up, give it your location, and it'll tell you the closest place where you can go and get a Phoenix X. Imagine that. So we'll make it super easy. In the different stores that have the phones there, they can go and take a look at them. They can hold one, they can play around with it and buy them locally, or they can go to the website and have one drop shipped to them immediately. So these are all the ways that we will interact with the community, individual people and companies, and make it very easy to find and acquire one of these Phoenix X phones.
Awesome. Thanks, Brian. I think what we'll do, if you agree, let's do one or two more questions, and then maybe we'll wrap it up, because we want to keep this brief, and we want to save all the good content for when we get Dr. Martin on the phone with us here.
Yeah, sure.
On the next one. So the next one I'm going to go to is really a combination of several questions that have come in. Will there be any other exchange listings coming? And then we have, will we be, when Binance is another one? And I think, will we go on Uphold? Well, all I really want to say to the folks is keep in mind that, as Brian was just saying, we will release information as soon as we have it. As soon as we can strike the agreements and we're able to release the information as per our partners, we will announce them. We're having a lot of conversations around different exchanges. If you want to treat that as alpha, you can, but we're having those conversations now. And as those things firm up, you'll be the ones to know. We'll let you know as soon as we can, because we understand the need that people have, the need to know that it's accessible in more places, and it makes it more convenient for them, depending on which platforms you like to use. So in summary, the exchange conversation is a great one, and they're great questions. And I think without teasing too much, I'll say that we'll have a lot more information for you in the near future. Hopefully that helps and doesn't frustrate you, but it's all good news. We'll have more to share in the future. Okay. Brian, anything you want to add to that, or did I already say too much?
No, I think it's always a blend of, and you guys can be very appreciative of this, I'm sure. It's always a blend of how much alpha do you give out and when do you give it out. And in the case of much of what we do, we have very tight contracts. We spend a lot of time to make sure that, the parties that we're working with are working in good faith, and that we're producing the kind of result and the high quality that you guys expect. Imagine the time that it took. Just think about this. What did it take to produce something like this? That's the kind of high quality. When that Phoenix X went through the CE testing, which is global testing, it took several months. And, interestingly, guys, we're talking to a phone distributor in South Carolina. This guy does a lot of work in the Middle East and in parts of Africa. And he's worked with a lot of different kinds of phones over the years. And he told us 70% of the phones that go through, the new ones that go through that process, fail. And many of those never see the light of day. They never get to market. The Phoenix X, we redesigned it. We went to the African market, South Africa, spent a lot of time there in the market talking to real people, ministers, CEOs, people on the ground, people that are disadvantaged. And we took the phone and we spent a lot of time to figure out how to make it right so that it supports the needs of the everyday person. That resulted in a re-architecture of the platform. We spent the time to do that to make sure that the device would meet the needs of the everyday person, which are tens of millions of people. So this is a long process. We did the right thing. We spent the time. You now have a device which is incredible, that gets the job done, and the quality behind this is incredible. We should have less than a 1% mean fail rate in the manufacturing, because we have a quality process in place which is just perfect. It's just amazing. It takes time to do this. It takes expertise. It takes focus. And these are the things that we enjoy doing, because every person that uses that device, as Chris talked about with those 4 pillars, we want them to enjoy every pillar. And at the baseline, if the average person feels secure when they have this device, that means that they can walk out of their house every day and not have to duck and hide from something. They'll have a device that'll keep their information secure. It'll keep their life secure from the time of birth, with that birth certificate, the pictures of the babies when the babies are born, all the way through the diplomas and the houses that they buy and the properties, the land. You have those deeds. All of that can be included in through this platform and secured for the life of each person. It's amazing technology, and the quality is just incredible behind this. So doing that is it just makes it a wonderful experience for us, and it produces something that people can really use. So we're so excited about that platform, everything that it brings to each person and the quality behind that. And we hope that each of you has an opportunity to get one of these in your region when it becomes available.
Terrific, Brian. I think that's probably a great place for us to wrap up. My apologies to the audience that things did not work out with Dr. Martin. We will get him, and we will do this again very soon. We'll get him and restart this event and get his perspective on BioFi and why the market is bullish on BioFi. So I'm very much looking forward to that. I would say thank you to all of you for joining us today, despite the Dr. Martin not being here. I think we had a great, quick conversation, great update. If there's any other questions, you can ask them quickly, but I think I'm going to hand it over to Brian to see if he has any final comments, and thank you. And that'll be it for today. Brian, anything else?
Yeah, I would just say, as usual, thank you so much for everything that you do. We are so excited to be here and honored to be here. This is with such passion that we say these things. We really enjoy doing this. For each of you that we haven't met yet in person, we're looking forward to that. I know that there are several people that are watching now that are from companies that we're in the middle of contract negotiations with right at this moment. And I look forward to wrapping up those contracts and watching the launch of this. And just for your calendars, the phone is on our website, bitmobiletech.com. Maybe you could post that, Chris, while we're talking. Bitmobiletech.com. You can actually go in and pre-order the Phoenix X. And just keep in mind that we are going through the regulatory process in multiple countries. We are also looking for, think of McDonald's, right? McDonald's or Marriott, right? McDonald's or Marriott, they don't own all of their stores, their locations. They go through a process, and they have a franchise. And somebody puts a building up, it's a Marriott building, or they put a McDonald's up, and they run it on behalf of the corporation. So we're looking for really good people. We found a couple already, one in Congo, which is quite amazing, and a few others in other countries we can't announce yet, but who've stepped up and they want to own the whole country. So they would basically be in a franchise model for BitMobile. BitMobile is the South African company that is behind the Phoenix X, Pan-Africa. So we're looking for great people across the continent of Africa who want to own a country. And these would be, great business people. They could handle government officials. They could handle working with the public, other businesses, dealing with taxation, the import, distribution, all the things that make this work inside a country. They'd be responsible for it, just like we're doing now in South Africa with a wonderful team that we have there. So if you know of somebody and they're interested, send them our direction. We're talking to several people. We've got a couple lined up and other countries on the way that are being formulated. This will help, by the way. We talk about being bullish. This will help the phone get in the hands of tens of millions of people fast. If we have people owning several countries, it'll speed this up incredibly. So this is a very bullish thing. We're super excited about it. It's a way to really extend the brand across the continent. So if you know of somebody, send them our direction. And thank you guys so much.
Okay, before we wrap, I'm going to just highlight this last question that came in. Any
Sure.
chance of a website redesign in the pipeline? Stay tuned.
Oh my
Stay
gosh.
tuned.
Whoever asked that question probably has inside knowledge.
Yeah, I
So,
think maybe.
yeah,
But anyway, it's a great question.
Yeah, let's just say it. So there's actually an effort underway. It's been underway for the last month or longer, where I believe it's finovant.com, biometricfinancial.org, and bitmobiletech.com. Those three sites are all being redesigned. I just saw in the last couple of days, I just saw one of the outputs of this with current content, and it's actually quite gorgeous. They kind of dovetail with each other. It's fresh, it's bold. As you guys will know, BitMobile went through kind of a brand redesign. You want to say something else about the brand, Chris? Should we say one other thing while we're here?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so guys, we actually went through a process for BioFi. You know the BioFi logo? It's the kind of that tree that's growing up. That brand, it's a beautiful picture, by the way. It's gorgeous artwork, but it's hard to draw for the average person. It's a hard logo to draw to put on the back of a napkin, while you're talking to somebody. We do have a new logo for BioFi, which we're going to share that pretty soon. So this is some serious alpha. It's along with moving to Binance. I have to say, along with moving to Binance, this was in the works, and it's about ready to be released. So I will say that here in advance. You're going to see that soon. That's some serious alpha. It's a great redesign of the logo.
Terrific. Okay. Well, thanks everyone again for being here. We will reschedule and we'll get the notes out as soon as possible to let you know when this will be. Thanks for your patience. Thanks for your participation, and hope that you all have a great day or a great evening. Enjoy, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you.